Hello everyone, this is your girl Bianca. Welcome. For today's YouTube video, I wanted to kind of dive into understanding the three different sections of like happens within yourself as you are trying to level up into this new leadership role, whether it's a leadership role in your home, like as a mom, or in your business, or in the community at your church, a nonprofit, or whatever area of life, or even in a position. Dissect it into three aspects, right? So this video is going to dive into this. I've noticed with most female leaders, like, we're focused on getting to the top. So we're willing to burn out, we're willing to burn relationships, we're willing to be overwhelmed, we're willing to be stressed, we're willing to do anything, be sick, just to get to the goal. And the reason I say that is because the way that all of these high performance and all these leaders and all these like people are doing stuff, but there is the concept of like, you just go all the way to the top. You wake up, you do the thing, you just go to the top. And then as female leaders, like, we've been taught from a young age, like, in order for you to achieve and lead, you need to do this to get to the top, to be seen in this way, to achieve like a man, to do this in this way. But we're not meant to be achieving like a man from a primal standpoint, from a biological standpoint. We actually need to slow down, actually need to really honor where we're at. We're gonna break it down into three sections. So the first section is going to be the biological primal like side. Second part is like your current reality. And the third section is going to be the reality that you're striving for, that you're like, I need to get here in order to be worthy, in order to feel successful, in order to heal the people, in order to connect with people. So let's start off with the primal area. Long story short, 95% of what we do is stemmed from, biologically, it's stemmed from a place of this nature, right? And this is me speaking from, I believe in God, that's what I be doing, right? So there's definitely a spiritual element. There's so many other things happening. So when I say percentages, I don't mean like, this is it, this is the way. I mean, like, we've seen with science, 95% of the habits and things that you do are coming from your subconscious, right? So that's why we get stuck into loops. That's why we say things, but then congruent with what we're saying is incongruent with what we're physically doing, right? So you have the 33% of primal. You try to hustle and you try to push through as a female leader, but your period is coming, or your moon cycle is coming, and so you get tired, you get exhausted, your hormones are everywhere, you feel like you can't do it, you start thinking that you can't achieve, you start thinking that you can't compete, you sabotage yourself, you pull yourself back, and then the period is over, then you have energy again, you're like, I can go again. So you start kind of shaming like your body, you start shaming like what it is that's happening. Okay, so you have this state of this really big primal aspect of self, right? So whatever foods you eat, whatever thoughts you think, whatever loops you have, whatever things you're saying to yourself are going to become your physical reality. Or so they're going to be just like your beliefs. So if they're your beliefs, then it's just going to keep bringing that stuff in to your world, right? So, and this is where a lot of the root stuff comes in, to where you're trying to get to the top, you're trying to lead, you're trying to achieve, and then you get these illnesses, or you sabotage yourself, or you do all of this stuff that is actually not aligned with what you're wanting. So that's the 30%. And then, and then there's the ancestral aspect, where your ancestors are connected to you and they're in your whatever. So then the DNA and all that stuff, and the ancestors and the things, the system and the lineage and the stuff that you've gone through. So there's this aspect of things that needs to be healed. That is a big factor in a lot of things that are happening in your life. Then there's the middle 33%. That's all about your current reality, like what's happening. Like, there's the day-to-day life, the life that you're like, I need things to be changing now, or this is just what's happening in my world. So I can't even think bigger, I can't see bigger, like I can't really know what's happening because this is what's happening. And we kind of get stuck here. We get stuck in these two areas, right? And then we kind of tap into like the dreams of like, oh, I see this person doing what I want, or oh, I get a dream about this, or I'm visualizing about this, or God gives me an insight about this thing, or I see my gifts. But like, we don't really stay there. We actually stay in these other two places, which being in the middle is good because it's like, okay, this is my current reality. This is what you're actually living right now. So you want to be here, but you have your past that's affecting you. You have the future thoughts that are affecting you. And then you're seeing your physical reality. And you're like, I can't lead, or I'm not leading. Not thinking that leadership is, it's not about being on Forbes, or it's not about like being the best and dressed mommy, whatever. Or it's not about, or being able to cook everything and homemaker or whatever. Or having a 100K business or $1 million business or six figures. It's really about like, am I doing this in my life in any type of way? Yeah, I am. Okay, so how can I keep honoring that and doing it? And then you get the momentum and the energy to continue, right? And then you have your future self, the self that you're like, you either have no idea what she looks like, or you have all the idea of what she looks like, and you're like, I don't know why I'm not there yet. So this self, the one that you're like, this is how this person would show up. This is how me as a leader and as a mom in my home would show up, or this is how I would show up within my company making 6 figures or making $1 million, or this is how I'd show up singing, or this is how I'd show up creating this community or creating this nonprofit or being a leader in the world, right? This is how I show up. So you see that version of you, and then you're looking at you, and then you're like, nah, I'm not, this is not me. And it's like, wait, you haven't even done all of that other stuff. You haven't done the sacred work to get there. You haven't really tapped into your connection with God, because God is always giving you these answers. God is always giving you the next step, but you're wanting like all the answers, and it's like, that's not how life works. You get some of the answers, so from some of the answers, then that's what's birthed. So this is kind of just a gist of what it is that's kind of happening in our brains as women whenever we're trying to step into these leadership spaces, and why it's unclear, right? Because a lot of leadership coaches and high performance people, they talk about like this aspect of like biohacking, which I'm literally just saying what they're saying. Or in order for you to lead, your posture needs to be this way. Or you just need to kind of like do a speech, or you need to join Toastmasters, or you need to like be this and that. But it's like, it really starts off in this small, minute way. Like, what is leadership? I'm telling you, like, you're already, if you're attracted to my content, if you're watching this video, if you're listening, you're already like in that frequency, because most of the people that I would love to work with, that I am honored to work with, are ambitious women that are already kind of like hustling and in this state of like, I'm ambitious, I have my goals, and I'm doing it. I just want for you guys to reroute a little bit. Like, we're gonna take a puzzle piece, like the puzzle piece is everywhere, right? And it's like the puzzle's there and the picture is there, but we're just gonna do this, take this, put this here, connect the puzzle pieces together so that it's super clear. You fully know what you're doing with what it is. You have this strong connection to God. You're able to tap in. You're able to know what's happening primally in your body. You're able to cycle sync and do that. You're able to do all these things so that it's not so challenging to connect to that version of yourself. And you're also able to heal all of this stuff that you've been carrying, right? You've been carrying like tons of rocks, tons of things within your reality that you don't really need to be carrying anymore. So if this resonated with you, please feel free to book a Sacred Clarity sales call with me to dive deeper into your blocks and become aware of that. And I do have my Sacred Feminine Leadership Immersion that is open. And if you're interested, go ahead and apply below. Thanks.